welcome, I guess, to the Left Brain, Right Brain podcast. I can't remember how to do this shit anymore. It's been so long. I think I'm right brain, and
I think I'm left brain then.
yeah. And today we've got animator extraordinaire. Should I call you Eggy or should I call you Ed?
Ed's probably good, yeah.
Ed Atchison. Did I pronounce your last
That's right.
name correctly?
You nailed it, brother.
Fuck yeah.
I get so many Atchinsons, so it's a blessing to have you pronounce it
Fuck
correctly.
yeah. And we went through before how we don't have sponsors. Ed probably let me know how none of them are real sponsors. They do it differently in the animation industry. But I guess the first things first is like we are back at your stomping grounds, right?
Yeah.
And how's it feel to be back?
It's nice. I didn't know if my key pass would work on the door on the way.
Yours worked, mine didn't, actually.
I thought they would have axed it by now, but it's nice to know that I can come and go as I please.
Yeah.
It's cool. I didn't come to the campus that much in my last year. So I sort of like tapered off being here.
Me too, actually. I feel like that's like a recurring theme. Students pay for it, but then they don't actually show up.
Yeah, I mean, for the first 2 years, I was here like every single class, and then for the first semester of my final year, I was as well. But then once I started working on my grad film, they were like, my teachers were like, if you're on track, like you don't have to come in.
And Oscar, who's next to me, has obviously seen and studied the grad film that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen the full film?
No.
I only got your Instagram like yesterday.
Dog, I should have sent it to you guys before this.
Honestly, yeah.
You gotta tell me, what is it about? Is it that little one that I saw? Is it like a pin post?
Yeah.
I saw like
it's about a cowboy and his horse.
Yes.
And they go like stampeding through like these abstract, surreal deserts. Yeah.
I was wondering
should
about
show
that
it to you
because it looked
guys.
insane. And firstly, how long is that film?
It's 5 minutes and 40 seconds,
Jesus
so it's
Christ.
a long one. Yeah, they told me, they being my teachers, they were like try to keep it 2 to 3 minutes, because especially at the grad show at the end of the year, like we had like 120 people in our cohort, and apparently if they played everyone's films, it was going to be like 6 hours of content. So most people don't get screened at the end of the year, which is fucking obscene.
What?
Isn't
That's
that
so
fucked?
fucked.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I reckon.
Because imagine, like, animation takes so much
Dog,
time.
you put as much effort in as
Yeah.
everyone else. You pay the same amount the whole time, and then you don't even get like an exhibition at the end where you can
Yeah.
invite your friends and family. I think that's fucked.
That's
so,
insane. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in a blessed spot now, being at a smaller uni.
Yeah, you're right.
Where like I think my class has like 20 students, and I don't know how many of them are actually going to go for a full capstone like short film, because it's not like a requirement to finish it.
Interesting.
So I'm actually aiming for 5 to 6 minutes. I'm pretty ambitious, yes, as well.
I can see why you want to take 2 years.
Yeah,
to do it.
no.
That's long.
Because like I mean, how long would animating like a second be? How many frames per second do you do it on?
12. So animating on
Yeah.
twos. Yeah. So I don't know how long it would take to animate like a second. Like, I reckon I was doing about, like when I was doing my roughs, I was doing like a minute a week maybe.
That's pretty good, actually.
But that was like just my keyframes.
Yeah, I know.
Keyframe roughs. But like I was like trying to blitz through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just like didn't get very long to animate.
Yeah.
Really. You get like, unless you start outside of like the recommended school hours, you get like 12 weeks maybe to animate like a 2 to 3 minute.
12 weeks to do, really?
Yeah, which is, I mean, the first semester is writing, like all the pre-production and
Yeah.
your storyboarding and animatics and stuff. And then second semester, like from week 1, you're just animating.
Yeah.
And it has to be done, like, you start in, like, I can't remember when semester 2 starts, like end of July maybe. And then by October, you have to have your film done. And it's like,
That's insane.
it's fucked, yeah. It's hell fucked. So I worked through, like, the semester break, and I worked, like, 9 to 5 on my film pretty much.
So somebody can work that hard and then your lecturer's going to be like, actually,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not into cowboys.
Yeah, well, genuinely.
Fuck you.
And you should see, I mean, I don't want to, like, speak ill on any
It's
of the
alright.
projects.
We can bleep the university.
But man, they
institution.
did like the students hosted their own grad screening, which
Cool.
is fire as fuck. Like they put so much effort into it, and like thank God they did that because all these people got to show their films and films that I hadn't seen as well from the grad screening. And dog, I watched some of the students' films that hadn't been shown yet, and I was like, I was thinking about the selection of grad films that got shown on the exhibition, and I'm like, how did these get in? In favor of like other ones? Like it's fucking unreal. The quality of some of the students' films were, I mean, it was a mixed bag, but some really, really, really good ones didn't get shown. And I'm like, what's the criteria for selection? Like it's strange.
No, I get what you mean. Especially, I mean, here in Australia, we got like a very, very small animation community.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the student work that comes out isn't necessarily the best representation of what the Australian animation scene can do.
Yeah.
Like we're quite a powerhouse when we put our minds to it. Like this Loop de Loop, this Reanimated. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Have you been doing Loop de Loop?
I have not been doing Loop de Loop
Because I know about it, and I wish I'd been doing it.
Do it.
Like in the last few years, dude. The fucking prize for it is a year's Toon Boom subscription.
Yeah.
Which is like $3,000, like something fucking heinous. Like
one of my teachers
so
actually
good.
runs the Melbourne one. You should go. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool dude. Yeah, Neil
Damn, cool.
Sanders. Shout out to him actually. First shout out.
Yeah, Neil Sanders.
Isn't that the guy? Oh jeez, isn't that the guy trying to get on the potty?
Yeah, I was trying to get him on
for
the
real,
potty.
yeah.
He was a bit like not quite into it. I don't know.
I'm sure he's happy for you, but
Nah, cool dude.
yeah,
Typical animator.
yeah, for real.
Literally
He's
though. I mean, we don't
too
do
busy
anything.
animating, I
Yeah.
presume.
That's like not. This isn't like related to him at all, but like that is another thing about animation. Is like how completely antisocial and awkward people are within the animation. Like they're all lovely.
I agree with you. Yeah.
They're all absolutely lovely. I have like nothing against anyone in
I mean,
this
myself
scene.
included. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just comes with the territory. You spend so long indoors and you spend weeks on end
Yeah.
drawing and looking at a screen. You're bound to have some like awkward mannerisms, I think.
Yeah, it's really interesting how like it's a field that requires really, really good social skills and really, really good networking, but
Yeah,
like
it
it
does.
just it incubates like the most
Yeah,
introverted people on earth.
definitely. And I feel like a lot of animation is like tangential to video gaming and anime and like all these like, I guess like historically like nerdy hobbies and interests. And yeah, I feel like you definitely get some people who are like anxious and like antisocial.
Yeah, I noticed it with comic book artists.
Yeah.
It's like really, but they're so
Totally.
sweet. You know what I mean? But it's just like, yeah, it is kind of tricky. I mean, it's very different in the music scene, which is why I was drawn to that because I used to just want to be a writer. But being a writer is one of the most like solitary pursuits in the world.
Totally.
And I think animation is even more solitary than being a writer.
Well, it's funny you say comic book artists because I feel like it's the perfect blend between like it's obviously writing and then it's visual narrative storytelling. So
Yeah.
you're getting the animation aspect as well. So
The
it's like
awkwardness from one and the awkwardness from the other.
genuinely, but it's like imagine how solitary you think writing is, and then like when you're done writing, you're done.
Time to draw.
Imagine having to draw it all over again. Like it's the amount of time you put into it is fucking unreal.
And I think like a lot of people, this has come up on the podcast a fair bit with artists, with graphic novelists actually, when like you need to have an exciting life if you're doing like an autobiographical thing as well. Because if you don't, then you're just spending time alone. You're writing by yourself. You go on a 7-Eleven, you know, you get a little sushi.
That's a recipe
You're
for
coming back
depression.
home. So it's just like, you know, and actually I did want to do some parallels with what you do. Like your stuff from what I've seen is like really exciting. Western, like crazy adventurous stuff.
Totally.
Do you feel like that is a response to kind of wanting to kind of get out into the world and really experience it?
The Western influence for me, I haven't like always been into cowboys, but I've always been into like fantasy and like pirates. Like I love the idea of like the open world, and I guess like the idolizing of like the open sea and like the, you know, this land of possibility is like pretty tangential to like the Wild West and like the, you know, the American frontier in like the 1840s or whenever it was. Like it's very like the land of possibilities and like sort of taking what you want and like like trying to make a name for yourself in the world. And so like the Cowboy influence recently just sort of like, I don't know, I played like Red Dead 2.
Is that where it came from?
And I was like, damn, this shit bangs. And then I listened to an artist, Orville Peck, and he released his new album. So I was like playing Red Dead and listening to Orville Peck, and I'm like, this shit's fire as fuck.
You know what's funny? I played through Red Dead last year as well for the first time, like Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
And I had this same thing. I wanted to draw Cowboy so
Dude,
fucking
isn't it
bad,
the best
bro.
I reckon the top 3 games ever made. I was like, I'm not usually like an open world like RPG kind of guy, but like that was the storytelling in it is. Have you played it?
I've played 4 missions.
Okay. Brother.
I played the first one. You played the first one?
The first one is
Zombies
slow.
in the first one. Don't get me geeking out on this.
I'm waiting for it to come out on PC. I still haven't. Oh wait, no, it's out now. I should play it. I'm making my way through Elden Ring though.
Yeah, facts.
Elden Ring is fucking amazing. It's like the best open world.
I nearly sold Elden Ring. I'm not good at it. I was like, I gave it a swing and I probably got like 20 hours in and I was like, I'm not built for this.
Give it another. Oh my god.
I
give it
did.
another.
And then I blitzed through the 20 hours that I'd played and I was like, wait, I'm actually kind of good at this.
Yeah.
And then you get up to the section where it's surpassing where you've been up to already. And I was like, all right, I need to take another break. This is too much. But like the Cowboys for me was like huge influence, and I still like. I'm just riding that high. I think they're so fire.
So you didn't get it from cinema?
No, in fact, I played. Like I got exposed to all this Cowboy shit, and then I went back and watched cinema. So I still haven't seen like the
Good,
Fistful
the
of
Bad, the
Dollars
Ugly.
trilogy. Yeah,
Dude, that's what I was gonna say. Like if you like Cowboys, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I went through a spaghetti western phase.
Yeah.
Also from a Sonic standpoint, like I'm big into Morricone and like all those like crazy composers, Italian composers. But the sequel, like the middle in the trilogy of like the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, for a few fistfuls more or for a few dollars more.
Yeah.
Bro. Best like one of the best movies of all time, and I rewatched it, and I don't usually rewatch movies. I rewatched it yesterday. Dude, it's incredible.
Really? Well,
it's one of the best stories ever.
The thing is, I know that it is good, and I'm like waiting for the perfect time to watch it where it's gonna like mean the most to me, and it's never gonna come. So I'm like, I just need to pull my finger out and watch it. But
Yeah.
I've been like, me and my partner love Western, so we've been watching like Tombstone, 310 to Yuma. I love like Tarantino's Westerns. The Hateful Eight is baller. I love that. I'm trying to think what else we've watched. We've just watched like some random like one-off ones. We watched fucking Kevin Costner's new like
Yellowstone.
Nah, we actually started watching Yellowstone last week and I hated it. It's melodramatic.
You know what my favorite Western is?
What?
Like ever made?
Yeah.
Rango. Banger.
Dog.
Fucking banger.
You're 100% right. I made a movie list for my dad for Father's Day a couple of years ago, and I was like, you're not gonna like, it's animated, so I'm like, you might not want to watch this one, but like this is one of the best Westerns I've ever seen in my life. It's so good. You're actually so right.
Yeah,
for that.
Rango's wild. Like,
It's
the
so
first time that
good,
came
man.
out, nobody knew how to react to it.
Dude, for real.
It was like mocap, right?
Was
like,
it?
I'm pretty sure they were acting that shit out.
I don't think it was mocap. I think they acted it out. They like shot the movie in a
reference.
studio, and then they used that as reference. So there's two versions of the movie basically. There's one that's animated. There's one that is like Johnny Depp fucking
live
around in a
action?
studio. Yeah,
Dude,
like live action.
cool. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and that's another thing about that movie. That is like a 2008, 2009 movie. That looks like it could have
aged
come out
so well.
like
legit.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Cast is crazy
Nickelodeon as well.
Is it really?
Yes, a Nickelodeon movie.
What in the world?
Yeah, it's
What are they
insane.
smoking a Nickelodeon? That's baller.
Yeah.
Man, some of the surreal scenes in Rango are so good when he's like fiending out in the desert because of like dehydration, and he's just like seeing like all these rubber ducks like floating through the sky and like
Like when he goes to the other side and he sees like what's the figure? It's like the Man Beyond or something. And I think it's Clint Eastwood. It's just like I think it's literally just Clint Eastwood.
That's dope.
I could be wrong about that. It could be just like some other really famous actor that play like Cowboy. But I think it is.
That's
just
actually fresh.
The Spirit of the West. That's what it's called. This is Spirit of the
Okay.
West. Yes. Oh my god.
See, this is why I need to watch more Westerns so I can appreciate a callback like that in Rango.
Well, you can watch Westerns, and then I guess you can play Westerns, but at some point you become Westerns, right? Like I think I like got I went to Sydney, which is obviously the most Wild West place on the planet.
Of course, yeah.
And like I bought like a cowboy hat there.
Dude, I'm waiting to get my first pair of boots.
Incredible, yeah.
I
don't have cowboy boots, but cowboy hats.
Yeah.
But you gotta. The thing is, there's some places that let you like wear that shit around here.
Totally.
But you can't be that guy. Like I just watched Midnight Cowboy, and that's not really a western, but it's also a western.
I've been wanting to watch Midnight Cowboy.
That's a fucked up movie. You want to cry? You want to cry tonight? Then that's what's gonna happen if you watch that movie. It's fucking sad, man.
Dude, I watched Sound of Metal. Have you guys seen Sound of Metal?
I'm not watching that shit.
Movie.
Dog, you would get the most out of that as a band, man.
Watch it.
But dog, I watched it like 3 nights ago.
I wear hearing protection. Thank you.
Hell yeah, I was crying. That movie was sad as fuck.
I watched a movie with my mum like a year ago for the first time for like both of us, and I was like, I think this seems like a fun movie.
Yeah, like that's an interesting premise.
Yeah, and that's an interesting premise. And you know the funny thing is the one that we watched after was The Zone of Interest, and then we just didn't watch movies again together.
Honestly, fair enough.
Two really depressing ones back to back.
Yeah, shit. I like I don't know, historically I've really enjoyed watching movies, but since I've gotten into animation and like writing, I find that like I actually appreciate them more because I can draw influence from them now as opposed to just like, you know, letting them wash over me.
So can you talk to me a little bit about, because I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Heavenly Sutures. Is that the name of it?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I wrote it in my second year, or at least I wrote down like my story beats for it. I was like trying to get the idea out before third year just because I knew I was going to be under the pump. But it sort of came from an idea of like, I wanted it to be a two-parter, so it is a two-part film. There's like the first half is like 4 minutes, and then the back half is like it's like 3-ish and 3. But the first half is like Boy and his horse. So Boy's the protagonist, and then his horse Clyde is like this pink, doting, lovable horse who's like, you know, just wants friendship and companionship. Yeah. And Boy is sort of like this maniacal, fixated, like progress-driven character. And so I wanted the film to have like this spiritual element. Like, I'm not a spiritual guy, but I like the idea of like religion influencing how people act in their day-to-day. I think it's so like it's bizarre to me. I don't feel any kind of way about it, but like it's just interesting. I was like, I wanted to explore that a bit. So it's about Boy's like maniacal want to be accepted into the afterlife, and he goes about it by obtaining all these rainbow shimmering pieces of fabric from all these people that he robs throughout his like stampede. So they go on like this big pillaging spree basically, and then at the end of part 1, like spoiler alert, he gets shot in the head by like someone that he robbed. And then part 2, he like enters the afterlife, and it's him in limbo, like sort of experiencing like a wang of the heart, and like you know, he meets like this big goddess who has like this cow, like that's all like tattered and like has all these patches in its fur, and she's like sewing it back together, and he presents his like big rainbow cloak that he's been sewing to this goddess. As like an offering to be accepted into the afterlife, and she like ultimately rejects it, and then like he spends his life the rest of his existence in purgatory.
That's how it ends.
Yeah, yeah. She turns into stone. Yeah, so it's pretty like existential and like trying to find meaning in people's actions in like the real world. And then how, like, you know.
Yeah, there's a few things that you said that I want to touch on. The first one is, like, have you ever seen the movie Mind Game?
Nah, I haven't.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've, like, heard of it. I feel like
Japanese
it's on my watch
animated.
list.
Wait, no, I need to watch it.
It's about a dude that gets shot in the ass. This is a very stupid way of analyzing the plot of it. Yeah. He gets shot in the ass. He dies, and he gets a chance to come back and be a badass.
Hell yeah.
And stop what happened to him from happening to his partner or his girl interest or whatever. It's crazy.
Mind game.
We there was going a bit on a bit of a tangent, which is nothing new in this show, but basically like I watched it as like a triple feature of 3 movies that didn't get finished. So I still haven't finished. I watched Megalopolis, that lasted 15 minutes, and then everyone left,
of course,
to go smoke. I watched Sun Ra Orchestra's spiritual movie, but then that was in like 480p, so you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And at one point, you're just like looking at you, like, what the fuck is this? I can't tell what's a face and like what's it wasn't really watchable. And then we put that on. But by that point, it was already 3 a.m. And I highly recommend.
I feel like I've seen clips from it. Is there a scene in that where like someone's being shot at and they like shatter into pieces?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a very like.
I feel like I've seen clips from it on
spiritual movie. I also want to touch into the whole like spiritual angle. Like you said, you're not spiritual.
Yeah.
I always used to think that about myself as well. But then slowly, and you said you were 26 now?
Yeah.
Or turning 26, depending on when this podcast comes out.
Yeah, maybe.
I always used to say the same, and I think it's interesting because what I've learned, especially, and I sound like such a Rick Rubin fanboy, because I am now.
Yeah.
He is Jesus.
Valid.
But like, when he kind of talks about like creativity as its religion, which I used to say in passing, and now I'm like, wait a second, no. We get to work, we practice it, we think about it, we're almost praying to this force that's bigger than us. I just wondered, like, have you ever considered like the implications of your creativity as your spirituality? Not
specifically my creative practice, but like I know what you're saying. Like I was raised pretty like anti-religious. Like we kind of like scoffed at it in our household. Yeah. But I mean, the older I get, the more I understand it. Like I see why people do it. Obviously, there's extremes of it. But I'm
I think organized religion is tricky.
I'll
be as PC as I can with it.
100%.
Like I'm Jewish, but I don't, like practice, I guess, like as much as I should. But for me, it's like I think the idea of somebody telling you what to think is very different to kind of discovering what the world means to you.
Yeah, true.
And I think that like creativity and creation, like the idea of like where ideas come from, how the mind works, and how certain ideas will come to fruition. It's just whoever's tapped into it, at that point in time, like gets to it first. Like I think there is some like crazy divine power happening there. Like why certain creative situations work, why certain, you know what I mean? Like there's a bigger thing.
I'm still like resistant to that idea of like divine being or divine purpose. Like I don't, like for me it doesn't resonate. Like I get spirituality and like being in touch with oneself, I think is like I can believe that. It's obviously like seems like a thing that you can do. I haven't practiced any sort of spirituality, but like, man, by the time I'm 30, I might be there.
28, man.
Dog, get ready.
No, I know, like, I get it. Like, I'm obviously not trying to convert you into this.
But
it's like, I totally understand. Like, I'm one of the most skeptic motherfuckers ever.
Yeah.
I'm a super analytical person.
Me too.
I'm very, like, I can be very nihilistic. I went through that kind of a phase too. I was thinking, because, like, the themes of your movie, like, one would expect it to wrap up in, like, but, like, even the way you're saying it ends, like, it ends in a really, like, nihilistic, brutal way.
Religious imagery. Like, I think it's, like, Catholic imagery is stunning. Like, I think just the concept of having, like, idols of worship and, costuming that, like, is not a uniform, but it's not like your work clothes. You're like worshipping some power other than yourself. I think in fiction it's really cool. I like regardless of what real life says, I think having the concept of gods and divine beings in media is cool as hell, because you can actualize them in animation or in literature.
I am absolutely with you on that. Like all the way through. I think it's such an interesting facet of like culture. How like so many people, so many cultures, so many like civilizations in history have all come to the same conclusion that there must be some sort of divine something. like
Yeah.
existence beyond just like our actual life. And I think whether that is true or not, or whether you believe in that or not, I personally don't. It is such an interesting thing to explore in fiction, and especially in animation or in art or in illustration, where you can actually like really fulfill that and really explore that to the vastness and to the extent that you want.
It's like a fantasy lens. Like it's, I'm not like pushing any like particular narrative about religion. I'm just like, it's amazing to explore like a fantasy setting where there are these things and like that's how life works.
Absolutely.
I think it's really cool.
I found it really interesting where when fiction I can't speak when fish draw.
Me
I draw
too,
fish
dude.
sometimes. Man. Maybe that's my religion. I like fish. I worship fish. No, I love it when in fiction like they mix different aspects from like different real religions into one big kind of like glorification of it. I can't really put any examples forward right now that I could like think of at the top of my head. But when there's like imagery that mixes multiple cultures, that is my shit. I love that shit so much.
Yeah.
I guess the real question is like, are all animators nihilists? I mean, you have to ask more of your friends so you can get a broad pool. But it is a different type of creating than being in a band. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
and so there's different things happening, you know what I mean, that kind of lead people to go to different conclusions, whether you are spiritual or not, or whether you I guess, practice some, you know, I guess it's weird because not to stay on this forever, but like the idea that not being a spiritual person but still exploring spiritual themes. Like, I'm not going to psychoanalyze you in
well,
but that's interesting.
I think part of why I wanted to explore it as well, because when I was writing Heavenly Sutures, I was reading a lot of like Hellboy by Mike Mignola,
Of course,
and Lone Sloan as well by Philippe Droulet, who's a French cartoonist.
Shout out to the French.
He's sort of in the same like realm as like Mobius.
Love Mobius.
And like same vibe. But both of the like Lone Sloan is about like an interdimensional like space being called Sloan. And he's like this ship captain, but like he finds his way onto different planets, but he's like this unkillable god. And then like Hellboy is about obviously like all this, it's sort of like modern mythology. Like it's Mike Mignola's like rewritten a lot of like old stories to be contemporary, but he like a lot of it's about the occult and like heaven and hell and all that shebang. And so I think like while I was reading that, I was like, this is so interesting whether I believe in it or not. Like I love like this lore building and this mythology and like all these like reasons for existence and all these different fantasy races existing because like, you know, so and so god did whatever and like these spirits are like, you know, so like when I was writing Heavenly Sutures, I was like, I want to inject as much of that like lore building and like mythology and like imagery into as many scenes. So like throughout a lot of them, there's like all these little like religious statues and like one of the characters that gets robbed is a nun. Like all this sort of like.
Have you seen Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch?
Nah.
Similar vibe.
Yeah.
With Johnny Depp as like a dude who gets killed and then reincarnated or some shit like that. I actually can't remember. You should watch that.
Cool. Yeah.
If any recommendation, I can give you that one.
Dog, I'm gonna have to get a list from you.
Yeah. I'll just give you that one.
Yeah, for real.
I was printing in really big font, just that one.
Yeah.
Dead Man.
Cool.
I also saw some of the characters in your trailer, and like I don't know if you'd call them villains because your protagonist kind of sounds like a villain to me.
He is.
But there's like the bad guys. What the fuck am I doing? The morally ambiguous adversaries. They have like shoulder pads going on, right? There's like Mad Max thing going on.
Yeah, so I drew like an orc encampment that like literally gets shown for like 2 seconds. Like
why only 2 seconds? We want more orcs.
Me too, because I fucking love orcs. Like I'm about that shit.
Yeah, there's
orcs
no
and
orc
goblins
representation.
and
They got done so dirty
real.
in Lord of the Rings.
Legit, true. It's something that I just love. I like drawing them so much, and I was like, I just need some people to rob did some orcs.
So they're not like a
They're
big...
not recurring characters, dog. They're in there for a second. Like, genuinely, when you watch it, it's like, bang, cool shot.
What?
And then it's over.
That's so...
Dog, there's a nun, 1 second. There's
Really?
like that's the thing, is I was putting so much thought into like trying to make these like characters, and then I like cut it all together, and I'm like, that's all they get. Like,
Yeah.
true. But it's in service of the story, like it has to be that way. But you know, these are characters I'd love to explore more. It's like these 3 orcs like sitting around a table, like gambling in their like scrap armor, and they're like betting like organs and fingers and eyeballs and stuff.
But then all that effort like really shows in the final product.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
better than if you just had like some background characters that could be
Totally. The way I wanted to do it with my film was from like a technical point. I didn't want my backgrounds to be too detailed, because you can get bogged down like trying to draw all these backgrounds. So I tried to keep them very... I mean, this is why reading Hellboy at the time was... I don't know if either of you guys have looked at Mike Mignola's artwork, but he's got a really like refined, reduced stylistic way of drawing things. Like, it's not overly detailed, but it's really clear what things are. And oftentimes you'll see like for example, if he was going to draw like a sweeping ocean, he would just draw the rocks protruding from the ocean, or like the half ship, and then you just infer with your mind that the rest is like the ocean. It's very like whatever the Gestalt principle of like closure or some shit is.
No, so sick. Yeah.
But I was like, damn, like the fact that he just drew a whole ocean by not drawing it is fucking genius. So when I was doing my backgrounds for Heavenly Sutures, I was like, I'm going to try and do that as much as possible, where most of the backgrounds are just flat colors or gradients, but then you infer what the rest of the scene is through like the implication of grass roots, or like you draw the tree going into the ground, so you figure that all of this is ground. Or you just draw a little shadow and you're like, oh yeah, it's a top view. Yeah. So I was like,
sorry, this is another tangent almost, but it's almost, I love the concept of like modern day like art abstraction, and I think that's kind of something to it. I think like abstraction is something that gets explored in like a very sincere way in the art community, but it doesn't get explored in the sense of like what you're saying right now, like that it is a form of abstractification of art. Yeah. It's like taking something that you know is there, you know that it exists, and simplifying it to the finest details to the point where it loses meaning, but it still retains form.
Yeah. And in my case, it's functional. Like, I'm not trying to explore it for the sake of exploring it. I'm like, I have set amount of hours, and like I have a certain amount to draw. Like, I need it to be a reduced workload. So like, yeah, the abstractification of like scenery like was necessary. Like, I had to do it.
You guys both have said that word now, so it's become
it's real now.
Yeah, I've never heard that word. No, like I totally understand what you're saying. I've come to the same conclusion through a different kind of path, you know. Like, I drew my face like 3,000 or 4,000 times on my account. And I don't have to draw every wrinkle in my face. I don't have to draw it even precisely. I just have to give you the idea that it is my face. And there is I'm going to go back into it, mysticism. There's a certain kind of interesting thing happening there, because the fact that you know it's my face, it's not some other dude. Like, it doesn't look like any other Jesus-looking dude around you. It's me. You know it's me, and I can draw it different. You still know it's me. It's coming out of my hand, and I'm showing you that by putting a mustache there, you know, a hair there, and it's the space between the lines. I have a take
that anyone with a mustache is easy to draw, because obviously I draw...
Okay, I can fully go into this, because I shaved my beard and I became a lot harder to draw myself. Yeah. But I mean, we're good friends with Tom Gerard. You know, he does these guys that you see all over the city.
Cool. Yeah, fresh.
He's as excellent drawing these guys without facial hair as he does with them. But my main question was like, what's that guy in mythology that he cut his hair off and he has no power? His power comes from his hair. It's like a Herculean guy.
Yeah.
And I see the same thing in art. I'm like, if you have facial hair and you're doing comic adjacent art, then it's so much easier to ground yourself in the piece. But I've gone through your catalog basically on Insta, and I've seen when you would do self-portraits as well. But nobody would ever mistake you for me or me for you.
That's true.
Just because we have mustaches But if we were describing it to somebody, we'd be the same guy.
Yeah, you're actually right.
But we're not because of the way we express ourselves. There's something really interesting because we're using the same things and we're not giving the details. What I'm saying is like I'm not giving you enough detail for somebody to be able to make that distinction between your face and mine, but yet you know that.
But I'm saying if I chucked glasses on you and then I showed a self-portrait to someone, I was like, this is Dan.
That's the equivalent. I'll tell you what. This is going deep here. When I was in art school, I had somebody draw me.
Yeah.
And they drew me well.
Yeah.
They drew me could have looked like you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Do you know, it looked like somebody else drawing me.
Yeah, okay.
And so I think when it's up to us, once you do it a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Once you get into the knack of it, there's such a huge distinction.
Yeah, you put a little sauce into it. And there's like tiny little details that are like, yeah, true, that is.
It's that concept of like character design where like the more detail that you strip away, the more that it could be anyone, right? Like you get a little like Lego guy that is like 2 dots and a little smiley face. It could literally be, it could be you. It could be
true.
me. You put a very thick stash. It can only be you. You put or like it could be either of you because I got like a little pedo stash. It could you put glasses on it, then it can only be you. You know what I mean?
Man, have you read Scott McCloud's like Making Comics book?
Yes.
It goes into that specifically, like exactly what you were just saying, like the abstractification of.
I think that is where I got it from. Actually, I haven't read the full thing, but
sounds
like,
exactly like what it's from.
But he's a freak.
Yeah.
Because not only is he illustrating how to do it, you want to go into like metaphysics and stuff like that, like big like meanings like. That book is insane. People take for granted that is literally a Bible, basically, for artists.
Yeah.
He's breaking down everything, and he's doing it through drawings.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cracked. It's
actually insane. But also, again, he talks about everything in his book. There's probably nothing that he hasn't talked about in that book that we're talking about. But like his particular way of depicting himself. That kind of style, I don't think you could probably get to the essence of what's. I can't see that drawing and then go out into the street and find Scott McCloud.
Scott McCloud.
I could see a drawing of you probably, and I probably could. And I think if you saw enough drawings that I did of myself, you'd find me on the street someday.
That's probably true. You might be right.
I don't know.
I feel like I have more self-portraits of myself on my Instagram than I do like actual photos of myself. I think I got 1 photo of myself on Instagram.
Would you ever consider animating yourself?
Yeah, or like I really want to write a graphic novel in the future, and I feel like self-inserts are fun as fuck. Like Akira Toriyama did it with Dragon Ball, and I think like
what? Which character is he?
He's like a little robot like that appears in between panels, and same with Dr. Slump as well. He's like it's called Toribot, and he's like this little robot man with a gas mask. Huh. And he'll just like show up in like crowds and like
that's
in between
incredible.
scenes.
Just putting yourself in there.
Yeah, I think it's so fun. Like just draw yourself in your world. I think that's fucking sick. That's something I'd do. Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're animating it, you're the guy, so you can just put yourself anywhere.
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, I know in that movie Mind Game, they've kind of like taken pictures of real actors and like animated those pictures.
Really?
So they're really in it.
Yeah,
sort of.
sick.
In some hyper stylized sections of the movie, they are in it. But that's so cool and like such a cheeky thing that you can do. I always wonder about all the Easter eggs you can get away with in animation.
100%.
You're creating a world, and the world's living, breathing. It's like you could do anything. Like I always remember that.
Yeah.
If you stop a frame, there's that movie with the rats in fucking New York, and they're going down a hill, It's not Ratatouille.
What? Yeah, flushed away?
Because Ratatouille is not in New York, bro. It's in Paris.
They're different.
I already said shout out to France. What more do you want from me?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that there's a frame. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. It's the concept of it.
Yeah.
You're going down this hill, and if you press pause at the right moment, this is some goonish shit. If you press pause, you see a chick basically topless.
No
it's
way.
A kid's movie.
Is this flushed away?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, this is like a old Disney 1990s movie.
Can you tell me?
It's not flushed away. That doesn't exist in those movies. There's no like
absolutely
nudity.
There absolutely is.
Well, that's a whole. Yeah, I mean, like, you guys probably know more than me. Like inserting dirty shit. I mean, isn't there dirty shit in Heavenly Searches?
Yeah, there's. It's not even.
Where? Source?
Yeah, can you tell me the timestamp so I know like how to stay away from it?
For asking for a friend.
Yeah. No, there's like one of the characters, Hombre, is like he has like a big balaclava and a moustache. And before he gets robbed, he's reading a nudie mag of nuns.
Really?
And when it cuts to his over the shoulder, just before he like crumples it up, there's like a massive like topless nun, and I spent a morning drawing it.
So okay, let's go into that. If there's a topless nun in your thing,
yeah,
but there's no nudity, is there gore in Heavenly Searches?
There's a gunshot to the head, but you only see the aftermath.
Okay, so I was thinking, so the whole thing could be shown to kids.
I'd say so. I mean,
but then if you put
this nude nun has
in,
a black, like it's got a bar over it, like it's censored.
Oh, send me the uncensored version.
Yeah, I actually never drew it. I drew it with the sketch has the bar over it.
Really?
I don't want to get caught drawing something, you know? I don't want to be drawing something and someone walks in and I'm like, I have to explain myself. Yeah, you know, I'm
mum
like,
comes in with the coffee.
Even if it's just me, I'm like, I'm not going to draw tits. I feel like I'm good.
That's interesting. Yeah. Because that's only if you see like tits is necessarily like actual sexual like nudity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are you trying to say, Ed?
I don't know, dude. Because I got like those animations, like little walk cycles of like fish on my account.
Totally.
It's like
tits.
Yeah, it's literally like top down. I mean, from the neck down, it's like a human body, whether it's male or female. They're only wearing like little undies to cover the bits. But then they're like the topless.
I have no issue with drawing the human body, but like because I was drawing this nun with the joke is that it's sexualized.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna dig too deep because I don't need that.
It is really interesting seeing what like an artist will and won't do.
Yeah.
Because art, but it's so and I've been talking to literally the raunchiest comic book artist, not raunchy in a sexual way, because it's not, that stuff isn't sexual, far from it, but it involves sex, it involves mutilation and blood and gore and all the shit. It's like, I guess people get angry at them and it's just like, oh, well, you're like creating like, like pornographic material. It's like, it's not. It's also making its own statement, but I love the spectrum of this. It's just like what you allow and don't allow, because I imagine that even the most clean artists, like even like Dr. Seuss, I'm pretty sure Dr. Seuss had dirty comics too.
That's the thing, is like I'll draw, like when I'm sketching or whatever, I draw dirty stuff if that's the point, if that's like what like the vibe I'm trying to explore that day, then like that's so chill. In this case, it just wasn't the case. Like it wasn't the point of the drawing, so like I didn't need it. But like I've got no reservations to people exploring that stuff. Like I think it's great.
Would you ever do a version of the exact same film, but you go in and make like an X-rated version of the same short, so that there's gore, like gore everywhere?
Dude, when I mean, obviously I wrote so much stuff and then axed it, and animated so much stuff and then axed it. But like the end to part one originally was that he gets his head blown off, and there's like a huge like blood spray.
Wow.
And his eyeball like pops out and rolls to the center frame. And I played it and I was like, I fucking hate this, and I played it for my teachers and she was like, yeah, like probably don't need this, and then I obviously changed it and cut it together and shipped it off. But then I was going back through my old ones and I was like, fuck, I wish I did that shot. Like that's dope.
That's really interesting as well, because that is such a big part of Westerns too, like the goriness of it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like looking at like, again, for a few fistfuls more, that's not what's called, $few more.
Yeah. A fistful of dollars.
It's so gory. Like it's not gory, but what is implied in that movie, like babies get shot.
Yeah, totally.
Moms
like
get shot.
It's interesting because it's hell gory, but there's no blood or anything. Just because of limitations of film.
But it's incredibly gritty, and the one thing I'll say is that like it's just so. Speaking about your lecture again, shout out to MIT. It's like I've heard from a lot of my filmmaking from a lot of my friends who are filmmakers that like they're not allowed to show sex in their grad films. Like if it's obviously like you can't. Obviously, I'm not saying go and make a porno, but like like you can't show certain things. You can't show an excess of this much gore. So when you show your lecturer and they go, we don't want it. It's so interesting because if you think back into the 70s and 80s of art house films, I'm sure that your lecturer was probably giving you Viagra or something, going, go out and make a movie, brother. Like, I just think that it's I'm not saying that you have to do one or the other. I'm just saying it's weird that we have these limitations in these like big final projects.
Well, they can say that they don't want stuff, but then really like they're not going to stop you making it. I guess you might not get screened, but like they said the same thing. Like one of my teachers was like, don't make the film over 5 minutes. Like that's ridiculous and you won't get screened. But it was in service of the story and I think it's necessary. And it's the same thing. Like if there's nudity, but it's in service of the story, like that's ridiculous to say you can't do it. I think that's dumb as shit.
Like maybe they're not encouraging like exploitation cinema, you know, in the sense that, like I'm gonna make a movie that's just gory.
Yeah, but then like torture porn, like whatever.
I mean, yeah. If you screen that like torture porn to your class, like that would be crazy. But then also, I mean, I'm too open with this shit now. Like I've interviewed so many people that I'm just at a point where I'm like, yeah, like go for it. Like you want to make a statement.
Yeah,
there's no like.
I agree.
You don't have to fucking reason it out. Like I might not like it. Don't get me wrong. I might not be able to stomach it and watch it, but you have a vision.
And also, not everyone in this who's doing this degree is all going down the same pipeline. We're not all trying to get studio work and, you know, work on a TV show. Like, people want to learn animation to express themselves. And if that's the route, like, definitely do it. Be an indie animator who makes porn. Like, sick. Yeah. Good for you.
I guess, yeah, it does come to a point where, like, it might be exploitative. Like, there's a lot of artists who, like, as a side hustle, they do just straight up porn. And, like, I have nothing against with, like, people making a bag. Yeah. But, like, you do have to kind of question. It's like, what are the ethics of this? What are like, the moralities around this?
And, like, what's your opinion of women if you're, like, drawing them, you know, in a certain way?
And also, like, I could be making like fucking millions out here drawing like furry porn.
I've been recommended so many times over the years to just make a bag. Yeah, they're like, but it's like, you guys know you could be drawing like furry porn, and I'm like,
yeah, but then like,
I know, but then I have to do it.
I gotta do it, and I gotta do it first to build an account before I get money out of it. Like,
100%.
I'm not ready for that, bro.
Nah.
Wow.
One day if rent gets
this is the raunchiest episode. I'm not talking to the raunchiest animator, but like it's just like, holy shit.
There's money to be made, man.
You know, I said I was open to everything, but once you brought furries into the mix, I don't know how open I am anymore. Everyone has their limits, and that's mine. Yeah. I met two furries once at a McDonald's on New Year's last year. I really wish I'd interviewed them. Like,
furries gotta eat McDonald's too.
Well, yeah, what can I say?
Sorry, which Macca's was this?
Yeah.
The source is Nepean Highway. If you want to draw any for... I mean, apparently they're also really nice people too. You know,
they have to. Like, I feel like 95%.
95%, yeah.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah, just don't draw them, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be great. I mean, I never think about that because it doesn't... I guess if you're a writer... Like, we're going down some pretty dark fucking places, but like, if you're a writer... You could get recommended to write erotica.
Yeah.
And if you're an actor, you could become a pornographic, you know, like a porn star or something like that. An animator, of course, that option would be there, right?
Yeah, that's like the alternative.
Because you've got the skills.
I got the skills to pay the bills, brother.
Shit to life. Because anyone can write a dirty story on Microsoft Word. Anyone.
Fact.
But not everyone can animate a dirty story. And I wonder if there's ever been a movie... Oh, dude. We're going to make an animated movie about a guy who has to do that to make a living.
Holy shit.
That's low key.
That'd be fun.
Let's fucking do
Cut that, write that down. Yeah. That's a good idea.
What you might not know is this is all recorded, actually.
That's sick.
I guess for most people it's like, oh, what's the price? Also, there's like that thing. It's like, oh, if I'm an animator or an illustrator and you cross me, I can draw you...
Dog, like, that's skirting into dangerous territory. Yeah.
Like, don't cross an animator, bro.
Dog, I barely draw illustrations of anyone that isn't myself. I've like started drawing my partner recently and included her in my little like daily comic strips or whatever I draw for like fun. But just drawing other people is like a different beast. Like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to draw someone's like nose too big in there. Like, hey, bro, like, the fuck you trying to say about my nose?
I think I got the same problem where it's like, even like when I had a partner and everything, it's like drawing them was like such a weird like feeling. But if it's with like buddies and I'm like, I'm gonna draw you like as ugly as I can, then I'll do it.
Yeah, there's
and
no,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like the insecurities of like you can really bring out like the insecurities of a person by drawing them.
100%.
I think I've tried to draw one of my like exes once, and I don't know if she liked it, but I have drawn someone, and it was horrible. I remember now. I blocked that out of my memory. Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's easier for me to draw more masculine features than feminine ones.
Yeah.
But I've done some good works in the other realm as well. But I guess because I'm used to drawing myself, it's like if I draw you, it's gonna look like, probably look like more of a guy.
It's an interesting line to skirt because I've had to do lots of portraits for like some podcasts. I'll draw like the guest that they get on or whatever.
Oh, really? You're doing that too?
Yeah.
Because we're doing that with you.
Oh,
you know how it works, right? Like
I think I've seen some of them.
Really? Which podcast are you doing that?
It's I Hate Mondays. It's run by a guy called
You draw that?
Elliot Gaston. Yeah.
You're their artist?
Yeah.
That's fucking so funny, God. Because what's really funny is like they were a huge inspiration when I started this podcast.
No way.
I've never met him.
Neither.
But wow. But
work for him though.
But my friend Nick is in the same like DJing world.
Yeah.
I think they work for the same company.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like, I want to start a podcast, he's like, you should check out this guy. And so then your art, holy shit. So your art is the reason that I do shit the way I...
Can you imagine? That's
it is
crazy.
I don't have to imagine this. Wait,
it's
what's
reality.
Because what I really... That's fucking so like surreal. Because I was going to say, who else does that? Because no one else. You're the only one. Yeah. And I've seen your drawings, and I think... I wanted to figure out how to do it in a different way. But I really appreciated so many things about it. I appreciated the layout, how the layout changes.
Yeah.
Our layout doesn't change, but every 10 episodes, the location changes.
Nice.
And every episode, it's the guest drawn. And then that led to the animated segments of the reels being drawn.
Sick.
So you were probably the first person that... So crazy. You're probably the first. How did I not know that it was you doing that?
That's crazy, yeah.
And they look so good, and the color's so good.
Thank you.
And again, going back to what we were talking about, like, yeah, you are depicting people in your particular style.
Yeah.
They don't like it. They might not like it.
100%.
But you don't have to take that heat because you're not the person that's actually like bang.
Interesting. We I mean, obviously, got to give Elliot props as well because it was his idea as well to like have the illustrated guests and all that. But yeah, we got through a majority of the season. I draw the guest and then Elliot will show it to the guest and they'll be like, cool, approved, like they love it.
Oh, so you're getting approval.
There was one that didn't get approved and the guest was like, I don't like how he drew me.
Which one?
I'm not going to say it. I can't say it.
Tell me after.
I'll tell you after. But they were like, yeah, send it back, redo it. And I was like, fuck, that's my biggest fear is like drawing someone in an unflattering way. How do I make you look
the way you want to look? Like, come and draw yourself.
I used this photo. Yeah. Like, tell me how to draw the photo different. Yeah. And Elliot was just like, use a different
That's
photo.
Awesome, though. That's so awesome. Yeah. Like, we obviously, our style is very different. I would argue that our style is, like, very cute.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter how I draw you because you're going to end up looking kind of cool.
The line is, like, drawing someone cute and, like, drawing someone attractive as well, or like what you think conventionally attractive as well, is like you don't want to like change people's features because obviously I have to abstractify things and stylize it, but like you don't want to like make someone look sexy by accident when like that's not their vibe, and like you don't want to impose your own like thoughts onto like these portraits that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to like
That's really interesting because, like, for example, I find myself to be, well, I find it easier to draw people when I know them less.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the way that Dan and I kind of got into contact, like, we met a couple of times, but then it was because, like, Sophie wanted me to, well, you guys wanted me to do that thing for, for, like...
And friend.
Yeah.
Not just give up.
Yes.
Shout out to Sophie, bro. Yeah, I always shout out Sophie there.
But yeah, no, it was that, and then like she was a bit harder to draw because like I know them a little bit better, obviously than Dan because I met Dan like once at that point. But then it's like Dan was so easy. Dan was so easy because all I had to do was just like amplify some of the features of his face and be like stylize them, and then he's got a very distinct face.
Yeah, you put a moustache on a circle and it's him.
Yeah,
redacts like 50% of the comment today. Yeah, I did notice. Yeah, also talking about those drawings is like, yeah, you got Sophie so like well. You did Sophie so well. You did everyone so well. Willie as well, because Willie, shout out to Willie, he's been a co-host on this potty as well. Like, he has a face, I'm not going to say he has like a more generic looking face, but Willie is like got shorter hair, he doesn't have any facial hair, you know what I mean? So it's like, you really pulled together, you know, and again, it goes back to what we were talking about, like, I think in everything you draw, you're going to be in it too.
Yeah,
so you're going to wrestle
100%.
with that, but I think the more you win, like pulling yourself back, like the more you can give them just who they are in essence. I mean, you've done a lot for I Hate Mondays though.
Yeah,
right? Like, you've done like
for sure. Not loads.
It's
like
monthly,
only
though,
one
so-
season, so like 10 maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like exactly right. You're putting yourself into it. And it's like if I'm feeling cheeky that day, you know, I don't want to accidentally draw like a cheeky smirk on like this girl that I've never met.
You know, like season 2 for us was on a beach, right?
Yeah.
So season 3 is in molten lava. You'll probably be in season 4, which might be in the fucking the Andes. Or
Hell
something.
yeah.
It'll probably be somewhere like very
Dude,
cold.
I love the setting change. That's
It's
such a good
great.
idea.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
It feels like in a video game where you unlock the different levels. But I noticed that when we were doing season 2, and this is a really weird thing to say, like we're on the beach, so we're all wearing beachwear.
Yeah, totally.
But sometimes I'm like, hey, and shout out to Gabby. Gabby's our animator, like Apricot Banana on Instagram, our animator and our illustrator. But sometimes I'll be like, okay, actually draw them in their get up from their single cover or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just because we're at the beach. Like, I want them to actually look the way that they look normally. Just because the settings change doesn't mean I want them
in swimwear or whatever.
No, and some people, I guess it works because some people don't have distinctive styles. And frankly, you're at the beach. What are you doing wearing a tuxedo?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm
But
wearing
that's
a
kind
fucking
of the
tuxedo
bit.
in some of them. But no, actually, I'm sunburned.
Hell yeah.
I'm
The
sunburned
vibe.
with the
Yeah.
season written in like a rash, basically.
Dude, that's genius.
This
so cool.
season, it's a really interesting turn. Ever since I found out you were that guy, but the season 3, which is what just passed, like that's in like a lava cave,
Cool.
and a lot of the guests that we've had were in LA, and so actually I was really scared. I was really scared because I was like, because I didn't remember exactly what it looked like. I was like, I hope people don't assume that this is like, I mean, it sounds cool, the idea of like Vice journalist goes to like this wasteland basically, but these are real people and a real situation that's ongoing. So I was like, I hope people recognize that is lava. That is not what's happening.
Totally, yeah. We're not
It's
drawing
not
them
actual
burning.
lava.
Legit.
Because there was like no way to predict that as well. Like you prepare that.
No,
you find
early,
events.
Yeah.
That happens a lot though with art. Is like you'll do something early and then like not even that. Like we just had a guy called Mr. Let's Paint, who's a fucking legend. The inspiration for Eric Andre and a bunch of other people. He gets on a treadmill,
Really?
he paints, he cooks, and he makes music on a treadmill.
Cool.
So he's been doing that for 20 years.
Wow.
But we had him on, and the only reel I have left to put up is a reel where he's talking about accidentally setting himself on fire.
Damn. That's crazy.
Can I use that? Can I tag LA?
For
Can
real?
I fucking
Yeah.
like what is my responsibility? A lot of it is entertainment, so you can get
True.
people out of it, but it's hard when like I know this isn't the same, but I know actually it is when the Strokes released the first album. This is it.
Yeah.
My favorite album of all time. That album had a song called New York City Cops.
Yeah.
And they omitted that from the initial release of that
Really?
because 9/11 had just happened. and they didn't want to write a anti-cop song when that was happening. So
Valid.
it is interesting when
Good song,
like
though.
incredible track, very different to everything else.
Yeah, it's really
had that maybe been released, maybe there would have been more of a punk band.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to think of how like natural catastrophes and stuff that just happens in life. I think it isn't just. I'm going back into it. I don't know why I'm like second guessing my own spirituality like, in the room with these two nihilists. It's just like sucking all my energy. It's like, you know, things like I do believe in sort of whether you're spiritual or not, like coincidences are a real thing, you know, like and things happening and tuning into certain frequencies does make things happen. And so it is really interesting when that happens with art, like talk about the zeitgeist, talk about the being on the cutting edge of, and we have to define what zeitgeist means as well. Like, what does it mean to be on the cutting edge frontier? Like, to whom? To whose frontier?
Yeah, true.
But it is interesting when, like, you happen to stumble upon that and you're just like, I'm just doing this podcast, man. I didn't
mean anything by it, yeah.
but now I have to think about the implications.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes the timing's just not right.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you is that so now I have to rethink all this shit because the first time I saw your art would have been then.
Yeah, true.
And I really just couldn't get over like how fluid it is. Like everything's so bouncy, everything's so smooth, everything's so dynamic. I don't know many animation principles beyond squash and stretch.
Facts.
But if that is one of the goats, then you're definitely you're at the top of your game because like
thank you.
And I don't know where that comes from, and I don't know how you'd even be able to answer that. But I'm just wondering, like, because some people are more rigid, right?
Yeah,
when
totally.
they do it. How is your stuff so smooth?
Well, it's interesting when you start studying animation because you're like, oh, I've already got my illustration style sorted. Like, and it took me so long to develop my illustration style. Like, that's a tough nut to crack. You think it would just translate to animation straight away, but turns out there's loads of different styles of animation as well, and you have to find your own source as well in that medium again. And like to me, I guess the fluidity of it is just like that's what's natural to me. Like it's just like the way I view movement, and I want things to feel bouncy and a bit squishy and a bit like soft.
It is so like that. Yeah, it's about like how you see movement and how you see expression, and it's a form of acting in a way.
Totally.
It is acting, actually. Animation is acting.
A lot of the time you have to stand up and actually act out your stuff to figure out the movement. Like,
no, exactly.
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That is exactly what I was going to say. You have to act. You have to be somewhat of an actor, even if it's not a good one, even if it's a very exaggerated one.
Expressions, body language, totally.
And it's a very hard gig to pull off in that sense because you got to be so many things at once.
Yeah.
If you're an illustrator, if you're someone who's in a pipeline in like a design position, for example, you have to be like a costume designer. You have to be like almost a writer in a sense because you have to translate the writing into a visual medium. It's crazy how much work.
I always say about animation, which I find very funny, is like you have to understand physics as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And it feels so like holier than thou. Like actually, I understand physics, but like you got to have a certain grasp on like how things move and like how much things weigh, and like if a character picks up a bowling ball compared to a feather, like how much does their arm strain, and like how much do their shoulders sag, and like shit like that. Like I feel like it's stuff you don't really have to think about in your day to day, but then as soon as you try and draw something believable, it's like fuck. Now I have to think about. You know, is it windy outside? Do I have to draw their hair moving, and then I have to keep it consistent throughout the scene, and like
and how does it move? Is it like strands, or is it a block, or is it like it could be like anything. It's like if a ball hits something too hard and there's like a little piece of like a brick flying off. How does that happen?
100%.
It's so meticulous.
But I guess like the stylization of my animation is it's just I guess it comes with the territory of how I draw characters and how I would imagine them to move. Like if I drew humans with proper body proportions and all their muscular setup, then it would be maybe more rigid.
That is interesting though, because it is like this solid form that has to get from A to B, and it's just like, how can I do that form justice? I mean, you have your own natural style, which is that flow. So you, like you said before, you had a style of drawing, but you had to adapt that style to the art of animation. I've always struggled So I've never animated my stuff, but I've always wanted to. But it's, you know what's really funny, and I haven't ever spoken to you about this. Maybe I have, but it's like when I've spoken to some animators, I'm like, yeah, I really want to animate the stuff that I do, the line works and stuff. And they're like, whoa, good luck.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was
That's a
so
lot of detail.
interesting. I always thought it was so interesting because my works don't have heaps detail. They're relatively simple in form. And I'm like, whatever do you mean? But then when you introduce the word fluidity to it, some of my artworks have become fluid as a response to, like, I've had my guys do yoga poses and stuff to try to train myself to get out of being more, you know, because actually I'm quite a rigid guy trying to become more fluid myself. So my art is just a direct reflection of me.
Yeah.
I need to stretch more.
Yeah, true.
I wanna ask you what you think about this, but like the way that I see that and how you would go about animating something that is so almost artsy. I want to say artsy. Yeah. Like, because like as animators, I think we both understand that it's like if you want to animate something, any drawing, you have to really, really understand how this thing works in every single way. Like you got to understand it in 3D. You got to understand it in 2D. You got to understand if it moves an arm or a leg in any way, you have to know how to draw that.
Yeah.
So I think when people are saying like, hey, good luck with that, it's I wouldn't even begin to know how to deconstruct this drawing that you've done.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
where it comes from.
Yeah. Especially like when you've worked on a long-term project as well, and it's like you understand how many hours go into like a whole scene, and then you have to draw that 1,000 more times for the full 3 minutes. It's like, look, man, if you want to draw like the bags under the eyes of your character, or if you want to draw like a freckle on his cheek, good luck drawing that.
And that's the thing.
The character every single time.
I'm a big bags under the eyes guy. Like I have them, and I like characters who have them both in real life, and it's like it's such an easy way to add just a little bit of depth, right? But the one thing I'll say is it's so interesting, Oscar, that you said artsy, because at first I was like, I don't understand. It's both art, both of them are art. But then I realized what you're saying is I approached it from the perspective of an art boy, and not from the perspective of an animator, and as a result, those principles are very different. That's fascinating. That's a real crazy thing.
Yeah, I see. I don't see myself necessarily as a great artist or like a good artist. I see myself as like a decent or like good designer and technical illustrator, and that's why I think animation isn't necessarily like as big of a step as like painting backgrounds is. Like I'm really struggling with like learning environments, but then I can do a walk cycle and I can like struggle with it a bit, but if in like a few hours, like a handful of hours, I'll get it down.
Totally.
Where like if you introduce like light and values and color in a more abstract way that would like require that type of thinking, I do actually struggle with that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it does come from two different worlds, and I think animation is like more a design thing.
Animation is a blending of all of the worlds, to be honest. Like I also approached my film from like a design point of view. Like I was trying to make sure my compositions were tight. Like that was above all like my main goal was to have like every frame be something you could screenshot and like look pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And so like regardless of how well it was animated or like, you know, I felt like it would still be like a self-serving art piece where like every frame looks great.
Any frame can be used as an illustration.
Totally, yeah. So that was like coming at it from an art's point of view instead of an animator's point of view. Like that's what I was trying to achieve with the film.
Which I think that is like a very common like want.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, like in a post like Spider-Verse and all this like new age like really stylized animation. Like if you looked at animation projects like maybe 10 years ago before all of that came out, and it was more focused on being like hyper realistic, you had the two extremes of like animation that works in a sense that is more close to cinema, and then the really abstract stuff, when now it is more mixed.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know if I can speak to that landscape.
I'll say one more thing because I'm trying to get my parking to extend, but the city of Melbourne doesn't fucking want me to have money. It is interesting so then if you start the other way around, like I think you touched on it. I mean, I heard it vaguely in my ears while I was trying to fix my parking switch. But like, so you start with the principles of it. You start with the principles of animation. You follow those rules so that the actual animation is if you want it to be like fluid and this and that. And then it's like, well, how do I inject the art?
Yeah, exactly.
If I've had to make that compromise,
100%. Yeah.
And that's a real difficult and long question to kind of answer, because it's like, what do you do at that point? Do you start reading books on conceptual art? Do you put it in the theory? Do you put it in the, the metaphorical aspects of your film?
That's what I was saying, like, about making my compositions nice, like making every frame a painting sort of thing, was like, that was the way I wanted to inject my art.
That's great, yeah.
Like, the stills are, because like coming from an illustrator's point of view, I didn't like start out animating. I started as a graphic designer and illustrator. So like if you go through my feed, like every illustration is like illustrated in a very certain way where like the balance is correct. Like
I call it the feng shui, like and that's
totally.
the way I used to describe it. Is like, even in a face, the distance between things just has to be kind of right, and it kind of
so like anal about that. Like I'm really like,
well, you're framing, right? So you have to be very, very particular, because that's a photography thing, actually.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you're bringing that.
So in my static images, like that's the point, is to make the feng shui like correct.
I've seen them too, because we're both milkmen.
But
neither of us has the milkman Instagram. The highly sought after.
That was the name of my first solo exhibition, was Milkman.
Yeah. And I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. I saw all your stuff, and I can totally see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it's framed into it. Okay, so what's the framing? It's a rectangle. Okay, so how does the image work? And I'm sure there's ways to describe why things work in terms of rule of thirds.
Yeah.
But there's more abstract ways of framing that aren't really explainable.
Yeah.
They just kind of have to suit you, and they might change from person to person. So you just follow I guess that's the real intuitive side of it. That's your intuition.
Yeah, totally. It's about the focal point of the image. And then as soon as you introduce a character moving across the scene, it's like, damn, suddenly the feng shui is messed up, because he looked perfect in the bottom left, but now he has to walk to the right.
That's so interesting, because
what do I do now?
Again, you're talking about frames, and so not every frame of an animation is going to be amazing, but at what cost? Like, how many of those golden frames, and not keyframes, but like incredibly like, well-positioned, images are you able to put into your movie? I think you're really good with that, because from what I've seen of your trailer, a lot of the movement comes out of those frames while still being on that frame. So you're paying attention to the actual, the golden kind of framing up of the thing, but then also there's movement in it. So that's why I remember the orcs.
You'll notice when you watch the film, most scenes are pretty static. Like there's so much motion and it feels fluid, but like you never see a character walk from left of screen to right of screen. It's always like, character is sitting and turn. I didn't illustrate Clyde's feet walking on the ground once in the whole film, so the horse doesn't walk at all, or his feet, you don't see his feet touch the ground ever. It's off screen. And same with Boy. I didn't have to do a walk cycle for Boy once until the second half, where there's one shot where he takes 3 steps forward, and that's it. But otherwise, it's like still images and cutting on actions, and like giving the idea that like, it's sort of like Scott McCloud's thing is like, you tell narrative in between the frames of a comic book in the gutter. It's the same thing when you cut on actions. Like, you just infer that things happen, and like as the audience you're like, oh yeah, true, he picked an apple up off screen. So there's lots of just like cheeky editing and like small things to save time and inject motion, and
which that is like all the cinema aspects and like the live action concepts coming into animation. It's like the hitting your marks. Like, again, your framing, your posing, your acting is like what a lot of directors do is like literally have marks that the characters come into, and then you hold on that.
Yeah, true.
If you want a really dynamic shot, and then like that animation takes that into account.
Yeah, totally.
Hitting your marks, and also camera.
Yeah.
Your camera is allowed to behave in any way it wants.
Yeah, exactly.
There's movements that you can do in animation that you can't do in real life. And so your camera needs to be as fluid as the motions of the characters within it.
100%.
Do you find actually that the camera's like a double-edged sword? Because unless you're doing it in 3D, what I'm thinking is like that is so much work immediately.
Well, you get the like blank canvas problem where you're like, the camera can move any way I want on a scene that doesn't exist yet, and there aren't real characters in it yet. You just have to like imagine the scene, imagine the depth of the scene and the room that it's in, and then move the camera like this metaphorical camera. It's like, where do you start? Like, where do you make your decisions? Like, you don't have any test, like, reference, really. In that way, it's a double-edged sword because it's so great that you can do all these amazing things, but also, like, how the fuck do you, like, figure out what to do with it?
But that's where, like, storyboarding comes into place.
Totally. Yeah. It's good. I don't think I like in my film there aren't really any like crazy camera techniques or anything. Because it would have been so much work. Yeah.
Also, like one last thing I want to ask you, like, so I know you did those like campaigns where there's I literally don't know how to describe what I was looking at, but it's like there's those like stone characters, and they're molding clay.
Yeah, that's for a. Yeah.
What I think it was for like it was like a graphic design thing, right?
Yeah, it's for a pottery studio in Chicago.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Thank you. Oh, I'm stoked
like insane. And again, like, how do you? Because last night I was trying to draw one of my characters for my album. We were painting at Sophie's actually, and we were trying to paint this character on top of a red rocket. Well, the character's a blue ball basically. So we found a blue ball. There we go. There's a lot of shit there. But then there's like the rocket. Oh, I have to paint the rocket. Well, we don't have a fucking toy rocket here. We don't know what the light looks like when it bounces off the top of it. So I'm just going to use a water bottle. And so we put the ball on top of the water bottle and just like stuck it there, tried to get the angles right. And I ended up at a certain point just being like, fuck this, because it looked like bacon. Because I tried to get the lights to go through, and I'd never painted properly before a year ago for the other cover. And I was like, fuck this. And so then I came back in with like a darker green, not full black, and I just turned it into what I would do with my normal drawings. And it looked great because it was like washed out plus drawing. There's no frame of reference for that in the real world. Never going to find a rocket, and maybe AI, but I'm not going to talk about that.
That's a different beast.
Although that is an interesting, if there's ever been, I hate AI, right? I'm with you on that. If there's ever been an interesting way to use it is to create those like references. But anyway, we're not even going to touch on that. What I'm saying is there was no artistic way for me to visualize a chrome thing and do it. And I'm not saying that pottery thing had all these lights coming at it, but there's a particular type of movement on that rock and the way the thing moves. Like, how the fuck do you, not in terms of like creating like a hyper-realistic depiction of that in animation, but like the movements of these things that don't exist, like what are you doing to know how that shit actually moves? Is it intuitive as well?
I think a bit, yeah. Like, are you talking about like the animation of like the pottery wheel one in particular?
I am talking about that, but then even if I think about your character moving, like the way his legs like project out of his body for like 10 feet, and then like there's nothing that looks like that. So do you look at other cartoons that have done similar things? Do you just do it?
It's just like intuition and practice.
That's crazy. And whatever that's so daunting. Like,
well, it's practice though. Like it's trying out different things and seeing what works. But it's like
exploring like the materiality of these beings, right? Like the rubbery kind of vibe. And okay, cool.
And I mean, like when you're talking about fluidity of my characters, like I guess I could say like Rubber Hose animation is like an influence.
What's that?
It's like old like 1930s Disney, like
I love
Popeye,
that shit.
Like Betty Boop, like the rubber appendages which have no like elbow. They just go wherever. Like a lot of my characters have like rubber arms as well, like they don't have an elbow, and so like knowing that I don't have to animate an elbow like pushing back with a pot. His arms might shrink and grow, and like no one fucking cares, like it looks the same. So I feel like it's just like intuitive. It's just like what looks best. Sometimes it takes a couple goes with your keyframes, but like, I don't know, as long as you just follow like principles like arcs, like making sure characters' limbs follow arcs and not linear lines. Making sure everything eases really nicely. So that's like getting the rigidity out of it. Like, so easing is like where you slow down at like an apex and then speed up between them. I don't know.
And like weight, right? Like knowing how much your characters actually weigh in like relatively to each other.
Totally.
Kinda, yeah.
But like, for example, that like pottery like wheel one, like I didn't have a reference for it. And I think the like tray that the pot is sitting on as well is like not even a real thing. I don't know if that's like a thing people use. It's just like
maybe in Chicago.
Yeah, it's just like a little cart with like a pottery wheel on top of it. But yeah, it's just like what looks best and what I feel like.
Really quickly, I'm curious. Do you do like frame by frame, or do you key it out first?
I don't mix.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, in what way? Like
do you do?
Do I do tweening or frame by frame?
Yeah. Oh my god, why am I forgetting the technical term? Damn, bro.
Like straight ahead or
straight ahead? Yeah, straight ahead. Sorry. Do you do straight ahead? Do you key it out?
No, I think straight ahead is reserved only for specific things, like drawing like fire, for example, or like cracks appearing. There's no way to like keyframe those. But all movement, definitely like keyframes. I think straight ahead is good for like experimental animation, but I don't think my characters are experimental.
So, for the non-animators here, what's straight ahead?
So like if you're drawing a 24 frame animation, say it's like a walk cycle and it's 8 frames, you draw like the character's left leg and right leg, front and back, and then on frame one, I think.
Whatever it is.
And then on like frame 5 or whatever, 7 maybe, I don't know, you do the opposite. So you have right leg forward, left leg back.
Right.
And then, so those are the, like the contacts. Thank God someone who's currently studying animation is here with the terminology.
The two generations.
And then directly in between those two, you do the passing. So that's like the left leg passing and then whatever. So now you have like frames 1, 3, and 5 drawn. And you could play that and watch it flicker between those 3 images and get a good idea for like what it looks like. And then you go in and you fill in the other frames to make it like a... if that makes sense. So like those 3 original drawings are the keyframes. Then you can tinker those as much as you want. You can change it and you can play through and get an idea for what the whole animation is without having to waste time drawing all those in-between drawings and then going back and then redoing them. But straight ahead is where you start on frame 1 and then you just draw frame 2 and then you draw frame 3.
Okay, so do you want to hear something really fucking clapped out? Like my attempts at animation have all been straight ahead. And it's kind of annoying to sit here now and go, well, I could just go with you to Starbucks. We could just sit there for 10 minutes. I could just draw shit because I know how to draw shit and I could just make a guy walk. Yeah. But no, I've decided to make him like launch, into like a building and then splat off the side of a building and then go around and then the camera comes in and it's like, why? I've never even studied animation.
To be fair, with stuff like that, with super dynamic movement and like really wacky stuff, like straight ahead's perfect for that. Yep. How are you going to keyframe? I mean, you could keyframe like splatting into a building, but like honestly, that going straight ahead isn't the wrong way to do that.
No, but I think going straight ahead, like just doing that as like your first thing.
It's gung-ho.
It's gung-ho, but I mean, that's always what I do is like gung-ho as fuck to all creative arts, but like it is making me want to be like, well, I'm not in like a game of laser tag where I have to just fucking jump in and shoot everything and run around in a frenzy like a headless chicken. Like I can actually sit down, have a cup of tea, and fucking literally refine the frames I want and create a story. Because ultimately, whether he's walking in a traditional way with like keyframes and whatever, or he's just doing some crazy experimental shit, like you're telling a similar story. different ways of approaching the same story.
That's the reason why I wanted to study animation in the first place. Like, I was already animating before I went to RMIT and freelancing in it and like, you know, making Spotify canvases and whatever. But I just wanted to learn how to do it like quicker and like actually learn the correct way to do it, where I'm not killing myself drawing straight ahead all the time and being like, what the fuck went wrong? Like, instead of a 3-week process, it's like 2 days because I actually know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I feel like it's invaluable. Like, it's just a brain saver and time saver.
Well, I've definitely like learned a lot. This has been a really great conversation. Like, it's nice to have like in-depth conversations about art.
Totally.
It's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah, I can talk about it all the time.
And it's nice to be back in the flesh, even if it's just for 1 or 2 episodes in the real world. But yeah, so before we finish up and I run to my car to make sure I don't owe $200 to the government, what are you working on now? What's the sequel to Heavenly Searches? What's going on?
I'm looking for work right now. That's number one.
Shout out.
I'd love to work on a TV show in a studio capacity. I think that's the goal. Like, imagine working on like Smiling Friends or something would be fucking.
I tried to get the guy from it on this party actually.
Really, Michael Cusack?
No, it's not the big dog, but a guy who does the voices on that.
Yeah,
but
really.
They told me they don't like podcasts.
Oh well. But like, yeah, that's my dream. That's what I want to do. But in the meantime, like Heavenly Searches is getting continued. I have a whole like multi-story narrative already mapped out.
So where's that? So obviously you're submitting that to festivals.
Yeah. I have submitted to festivals. I've submitted to about 30 now.
Yeah.
I have no expectations. I'm not pressed if they don't get in. I know it's like, it's a weird length. So like, it's not a short, but it's not a long short, you know?
If it looks anything like what I've seen in the trailer, there's no fucking way. Like, animation needs to be able to transcend your average like home movie bullshit, you know? Like,
I mean, I'd love if it got into something. I think it's cool, but I don't know. It's almost like a pilot episode in that like people don't want to go to a film festival to see a pilot for your new series, but it is its own.
Yeah. It should stand out on its own. I mean, from all that you've said, it's just like, it's the simple fact that animation is just not as respected.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, there's lots of animation festivals internationally. And like, while I've been applying for them, I've been like, what the fuck? There's like a random one in Sweden that like only does student films. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And they do it every year. So, you know, if I get into 1 or 2, that'd be amazing. If I get into any, that's equally as amazing. But if I don't get into any, like,
But are you only submitting to animation ones?
No, I'm submitting to all short film festivals that I can.
Good.
Yeah,
good. I was gonna say because you'll stand out so well if you submit it to like an actual film.
Yeah,
festival.
true. A lot of them are like short film festivals, and then they have like you can submit for the animation category, and I'm like, I don't know how many people are doing this. So.
Have you submitted to MIF?
I haven't submitted to MIF. I've submitted to MEAF though, because it's free. But MIF is like, I think it's like 200. I think it's like $100. Yeah. Which is worth it. But I'm broke, so when I get
now we paid a fucking.
I know when I get a job, I'll apply. But
great.
Totally, yeah, I think it's cool. I watched a guy last year, Costas Lambrou, who graduated from RMIT, and he got shown at MEF and then came in and did an artist talk as well. Wow. And I was like, that's fucking sick. And his talk was really good. He said, because I was looking for advice on final films, and because his was like 7 minutes long or something, and he was like, as long as you're enjoying what you're making, it's positive. The minute you stop enjoying your film, like rethink what you're doing. Like if it feels like a slog and like, you know, you're working, like it's your film, like make it
burnout in the animation industry must be some other kettle of fish.
Dog, after I finished my film, I didn't touch it. I didn't draw for 2 months. I only just started drawing again last week.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just in time for this podcast, man.
Yeah, legit.
Cool, man. Well, thank you, Eggy, for coming on and having a chat. Thank you for having me
on. It's been great.
And I've been left brain, right brain.
You've been right brain.
You were right.
And I've been left brain.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.